Hey, what's going on, everybody? How's it going? How are you? This is the Dating is Hard podcast. I'm your host, Joe Welkie. If you want to know about the podcast and all the good stuff that's happening with it, you go to www.datingishardcomedy.com. You can follow the show on Instagram at datingishardcomedy. You can even follow me on Instagram at Joe Welkie to see where I'm going to be performing and all that stuff. The Dating is Hard live show is every fourth Wednesday at Pack Theater. It's a by-donation theater, so if you have money to spare, chuck it that place's way, and if you don't, guess what? You can still come to the show. It's at 9:30. It's such a good time. So if you're not familiar with how the show works, is I am on dating apps with profiles that specifically say, hey, I'm looking for people to come onto my podcast who have amazing and crazy and interesting stories. And we can talk about them. We can theorize about dating. We can talk about it. We can hopefully learn a couple things, you know? And today, I actually, I thought that this woman looked familiar when I saw her on the app. And turns out that we actually did a show together. She's a comedian. And so we just get right into it. And you get to hear about the differences between dating in America versus Japan. You get to hear about, a couple of shocking first date revelations between her and a couple of guys. So without further ado, here is my sit-down chat with Skylor. Hope you enjoy. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is the Dating is Hard podcast, and through my mission of meeting the most random and interesting people on dating apps, I, your host, Joe Welkie, have come across a fellow Maryland native, fellow comedian. Please welcome to the show, Skylor. Hey, Skylor. Thanks for coming on.
Hey, thanks for having me.
I'm glad to have you here. It was really random seeing you on these apps because I was like, I feel like I did a show with this lady. And then we got to talking and it was like, oh yeah, we did do that show at the fucking V for Vape.
Oh, yeah.
The Vape Store, baby. That's where all the best comedy shows in LA are happening. At the Vape Store.
My first and hopefully last time headlining a vape lounge.
Are you getting a lot of shows out here?
A few, yeah.
Doing. So you've been in LA for, I believe you said 2 months now,
yes.
Right?
Yes, I have.
How is the dating scene in LA treating you?
Oh, well, the dating apps are have been problematic, to say the least. I think I'll do one more. And if it has been in the same vein, one more date from a dating app, and then if it's in the same vein as the last two, I'm done. I'm deleting them.
Okay.
So
well, that doesn't leave much hope for everybody out there. No. So which ones have you been on since you've been out here?
I've been on Hinge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Everybody knows I'm a big fan of Hinge. I think it's the best one if you're looking to actually date people.
Yes. And that's the dating app. So
yeah. There you go. You weren't on Tinder or Bumble or anything?
I feel like I only window shop on there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Window shop. Wow, that's fucking that's objectification 101. I'm just perusing fucking.
Well, I'm bisexual, so I'm objectifying everyone, which makes it
okay. Well, there you go. That's not sexist then. That's just.
You're a horrible person.
Yeah.
I'm well-rounded in my treatment of horribleness to people.
Just being a piece of shit.
Exactly.
Equal opportunity piece of shit to everybody. Well, that's good to hear. Have you had any successful dates since you've been out here in the 2 months?
Yeah, but only from people I already knew.
Oh, okay.
Or someone I met not through the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's usually how it goes, I feel like.
The internet's a scary place.
Yeah, I mean, that's how you end up on podcasts.
Unfortunately.
Ouch. Okay, this has been a good one. It'll be a short one this week. Oh man. So you're like your successful ones have been through people that you knew already, or
Yeah.
how did that happen? How did those come about? Just people that like you knew before, and then they're like, you know what? I have a confession.
Yeah.
I'm in love with you.
Something like that. Actually, well, this is a funny story. One of my unsuccessful dates,
Quote unquote dates.
from someone I knew, ended up, we had an awkward moment, but it was someone that had seen me do comedy in Tokyo and then had just kept following me, and then saw through social media I was in LA, and he was like, oh, hey, I'm in LA.
Damn.
Yeah. And and I just remember him because he came up to me after my show and was like fangirling.
Really?
Yeah.
How? He's like, oh my god, you're so funny, you're so beautiful.
He was just like, wow, it was so funny. I really like your humor. And so I was like very flattered. And then we ended up hanging out in LA, and then I went to San Francisco, and he was also in San Francisco.
I think I think that you're a successful date. I've been a stalker.
Well, so I was really flattered because he's really hot. So
okay.
I was extra flattered because, compliments are just better from attractive people.
Exactly.
But he was like, yeah, let's hang out in San Francisco. And then last minute, he was like, do you mind if I bring a friend? And I was like, okay, that's fine by me. And I get there, and he's with a smoking hot lady friend. And I was like, my first thought was like, is he trying to have a threesome? What's happening here? But it ended up being, I think, his girlfriend. Her name was Angel. Nobody has a friend who's named Angel. That's just like...
It's a stripper.
And... yeah, so there was a little, because I was like, am I third wheeling? Is she third? Like, what's happening here? So that was like, I thought it was a date, and now I'm not so sure.
So wait, that wasn't a date. He brought his girlfriend to the date. That's not a date.
Okay, good to know. Now I know. Thanks for explaining that to me, Joe. Now I know.
You're like, well, my last date, the guy brought his girlfriend. So I don't know how well that went. He's like, it didn't go well. Let me just tell you. Probably was a no-go. Did he say, like, oh, this is my girlfriend? You're like, wow, this is weird that you brought your girlfriend on a date. Or did you think it was about being like, you want to have a three-way?
That's what I thought, because he was my friend. But then she kept saying all these things that made me think that she thought that was her boyfriend. So I feel worse for her in that situation.
Yeah, because it seemed like she was like kind of ambushed too. Yeah. Where she was like, who the fuck is this chick? And you're like, who the fuck is this chick? And he's like, these are my chicks.
Yeah, it was a learning experience for sure.
Well, and what was he doing in Tokyo?
He was there on some kind of business trip.
Man, this guy is like all over your life. He saw you do stand up in Tokyo and fangirled out and was like, I'll follow you on Instagram, I'll follow you to the ends of the earth. And then you're like, all right, I'm gonna be in LA, and he's like, guess what? I'm also in LA. And you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna be in San Francisco. He's like, guess fucking what? I'm also in San Francisco. And you're like, all right, man, I get it. You're like, you're playing like the opposite of hard to get. And then he's like, oh, so here's my girlfriend, Angel.
Yeah, so I guess the hard to get came in. He like snuck it in there. So it's like, well.
What a turd. Did you ever talk to him after that?
Yeah, I didn't think it was that weird. I think there's something wrong with me. I wasn't that fazed by it.
Well, all right.
I told my friends the story, and they were like, also confused. And I was just like, no, that's what you do, right?
Yeah, sure. Okay. So you've been in LA for 2 months. And like I said in your intro, you're a world traveler. Like based off of what I know about you, is like you're never in one place for a long time, more than a year.
Yeah.
You were in Tokyo. Hold on a second. Before we get to Tokyo, how have your dates in LA have gone from dating apps?
Oh, okay. So my last one, which was a few days ago, long story short, his car broke down a few blocks away from the restaurant, and I'm waiting, and he texts me. He's finally like, would you mind helping me push my car into a parking spot? So...
That's exactly what you want to happen on a first date. It's
exactly.
Just like, hey, I got this like romantic idea here. It's you want to push my car? You're like, sure. This isn't weird. I just went out with a guy with his girlfriend.
Yeah. So I really know how to pick them.
Did you go like to dinner after that?
Yeah.
How was that?
It was fine. It was nice.
Everything was just like, did you already write him off after the whole car incident where you're like, oh, well, this is going nowhere because of the car thing?
No. Okay. I don't have a driver's license, so I can't really judge people for their car troubles. I'm like, well, at least you have a car. At least you drive. I have none of these things.
Wait, how do you not have a driver's license?
I never got one.
Why not?
I never needed one.
Well, you grew up in like Maryland, right?
No, DC.
Oh, so they had like the
DC
metro.
Side. Yeah, I had the metro.
Okay.
I had, I always had a boyfriend to drive me around. So.
Wow. Wow, that sounds fucking bad.
Should I put that on my Hinge bio?
Yeah. But like, doesn't know how to drive. You can take me to the middle of the woods and murder me. Well, I think there's a lot of cities like that, like with really good public transportation. Like I had a girlfriend in New York who grew up in New York, and she had no idea how to drive because you just are using the subway or the metro or whatever. But it's so bizarre to me when people don't have a driver's license because I'm like, it's so integral to life to know how to drive and like know how to. I feel like you could probably pick it up pretty quickly though.
One day, maybe. But
I mean, if you've played video games while you're driving, it's the same.
Well, like I can drive, I just don't like to. It seems stressful.
Why not? What's so stressful about it?
Traffic and car insurance. You were telling me about the
Yeah, that's a pain in the ass. Car insurance. I'm getting fucked right now with car insurance, but like it's fine. It's whatever. I'm not.
And
bitter.
now that they have these scooters. I'm obsessed with the scooters.
Oh, you're a bird scooter person?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
It's the only thing that makes me feel alive. Just nearly getting careened off the road.
Oh, no. So that was one of the dates that you had. Have any more
yes, so the other
dates
one
going on out here in LA?
The other LA one seemed to be going really well. He seemed really normal.
Where'd you go? What'd you do?
We went to a Chinese restaurant.
Okay.
Genghis Khan.
Oh, yeah, there's open mics there.
Yeah. And we were just talking, chatting. Shooting the shit. And then towards the end of the date, he just casually slips in, by the way, I only have anal sex. And I, had a moment of shock and responded with, well, I only have anal sex with people who have met my parents, so I guess this isn't
like, cool,
gonna work.
Bring them in. Let's do it. Hey, what's up, Bill? Bill, Nancy, how's it going? I'm about to fuck your daughter in the poop shit. That's fucking... that's like such a leap to be like... I don't know. I feel like that's kind of a... You really need to win the person over before you drop that bomb.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, and that's what bothers me about... And this is something that I've noticed about LA and DC, is there's just this sense of entitlement.
Mm-hmm. I own your butt!
Something like that. It's just like this weird, like... yeah. So I have better luck dating not in... DC, and I mean, I have a lot of fun in LA, but I don't think...
Is there like a wink in there too? Have a lot of fun in LA, let me tell you something, buddy.
But yeah, it's... Well, obviously, we're talking about anal sex, and it's more fun.
Did you go out with the guy with the anal sex again?
No, I was like...
Was that the deal breaker?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just like, it was the way he said it.
It was the bluntness of like, he's like just signing the check. He's like, oh, by the way, I fuck butts. Anyway.
Like only.
Strictly butts.
It's like, no, like eat what's on your plate and be grateful for it. You don't get to, yeah.
Have you ever had anal sex before?
That's for a different podcast.
That's a yes. I'm trying to think, because, like, that has to be so intense. Like, how does he's got to...
okay.
It's got to be difficult for that guy to meet people and have them stick around, you know?
I guess. I don't know.
I feel like there's a very niche market.
I will say this. I have not been in a monogamous relationship since I was 20.
Okay. And how old are you now?
26.
26,
so
okay. 6 years.
That's a good run. But the closest I've come to it is I dated someone where they were the only person I had anal sex with. So they had their own entrance. We didn't only have anal, but they were the only person.
They were allowed.
Yeah.
Every once in a while. This is going off the rails now. It's like, oh man, so what's up with anal sex? Fuck butts or what?
Okay. Yeah, dating apps.
Wait,
man.
you're bi, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever pegged anyone?
Yes.
Dude. So have you fucked a butt?
I have, yeah.
There you go. Fuck yeah. High five. Well, fuck yeah, dude. Was it a dude butt or a lady butt? Sorry, this is so crass. I'm so sorry, everybody. I'm sorry to you. Oh, my God.
Well, yeah, we'll just save that for my podcast, Butt Stuff.
There you go, Butt Stuff with Skylor. Oh, God. This is the most crass. Like, this has gotten, like, so crass, like, so quickly. Like, usually it'll take a while to, like, hey, I'm going to warm up to you for a little bit before we get into stuff like this. And we're, like, 15 minutes in, and I'm like, so you peg people or what?
Yeah, we haven't even gotten to my Tokyo time yet.
I know, Tokyo times. So, yeah, how long were you in Tokyo for?
About a year and a half. Well, Tokyo a year, and then Japan
in general. What took you to Tokyo? Japan?
I was working as a buyer for an import-export company, specifically dealing with Japanese beer and sake. So I was...
But how do you even get that job?
Well, first I worked in sales. So I was selling Japanese beer and sake to bars and grocery stores. My first job out of college. Very exciting.
Was there interest in, like, going to Tokyo, or was it just like, this was the only place that was hiring and I had to go to Japan?
Oh, yeah. So that was a big reason I got the job, is because I minored in Japanese.
Oh, well, that'll
help.
That'll definitely help.
Yeah, and I have family there, so.
Okay. Well, so then you were in Tokyo. Was it different dating in Tokyo? Is it like a different culture there, or what?
Well, I really miss being a Tokyo 10. And I was a Tokyo 10, mostly just because I'm white.
Yeah, that's what I was, I've heard a lot of stories about that. Like, I dated a girl who was like a tall blonde girl, and her dad lived in the Philippines. And she said that, like, whenever she would go visit her dad in the Philippines, it was like she was a celebrity. People would stop her in the mall and be like, can we take a picture with you?
Oh, yeah. People would come up to me and be like, oh, my God, you're so beautiful. You look like Mariah Carey.
Mariah? You're white.
Oh, I got Beyonce a few times.
Damn.
I was like, I'll take it.
All right.
They don't see skin color, just hair color.
Yeah, you do have kind of like the Mariah Carey, like, face shape and hair going on.
That's all it takes. Yeah.
Well, so did you get stopped a lot? Like, you're like, oh my God, look at this amazing woman.
Yeah, it really went to my head. My joke was always, Tokyo is a great place to be busty, baby-faced, and blonde.
Yeah.
But then again, I can't imagine a place that isn't.
That's true.
Well, I mean, there's a few places, but I've never been there. Like, maybe deep Middle East. I don't know.
So were you, like, worshipped by all of the people in Japan?
No, worshipped is a strong word. I did really punch above my weight dating-wise a few times. Yeah. I dated a Japanese rapper.
What?
Yeah.
Was he, like, a popular rapper?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And my favorite was he would always pick me up through comedy stuff. Mm-hmm. He would never come to any of my comedy stuff, which was a little sad. But
that's kind of. Did you ever go to any of his rap stuff?
Yes.
You
Yeah.
definitely did not go to any of this. That took way too long for you to answer.
I went to the fun, like, he like would invite me to like fashion shows and these like wild hotel parties. I went to all the fun stuff that he went to because he was a rapper.
Okay. So like all of the like exclusive, he got invited because he's a celebrity, and you never actually saw him perform, though?
No.
Wow. Okay. Well,
So I guess, we never saw each other perform.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it was like he would rap in Japanese. I would do comedy in English.
Did he speak English at all?
His English was not great.
So was your Japanese better than his English, I guess?
Just by a little bit. But it was funny because he would always ask me what English, like, music euphemisms meant. And at one point, I thought he was just dating me for my knowledge of American music euphemisms.
Like what? Do you have an example?
Like, what does it mean to pull up on someone? Like in rap music, when you like pull up on some, I was like, I had to Urban Dictionary that shit. I was like, oh God, don't leave me if I don't know this.
You know this, right? And you're like, yeah. Quick, Urban Dictionary. What is going on?
But yeah, that was super fun because he would always pick me up after my comedy shows in his like fancy white Mercedes, and all my comedy friends were like, what the fuck, who are you, Skylor? Because nobody in Tokyo drives, let alone a Mercedes. So everyone was just like, what is your life?
Is there like good public transportation in Tokyo too?
Oh my God, it's amazing.
Is it better than DC, New York?
Oh, a million times better. It's so clean, it's so quiet, it's on time.
This might be really ignorant of me, and I know it is.
Okay.
But I just think of Tokyo as like this futuristic, like crazy clean, amazing society. And it's probably not that. I've never been.
Yeah.
Obviously, because I'm a fucking idiot. But to me, it's just like thinking of Tokyo, it seems like there's neon lights everywhere and everything is like so much faster and crazier and clean than here. They got the future toilets.
Oh, I miss those so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't they like play music and stuff?
They play music. They warm the seat. They wash your butt in many different ways. It was my butt had never been cleaner.
If anal sex guy was in Tokyo, maybe.
I think that's what I miss the most about Japan is the toilets.
How clean your butt was?
Yeah.
Man, living back in America, man, my butt's dirty.
But yeah, dating was fun there. Everyone's butt was so clean.
So punching above your weight in Tokyo, dating is kind of like, can you equate him to a famous person here? Like, what level of fame are we talking? Is he like, like A$AP Rocky or something of Japan?
Not quite there, but maybe like Tyler, the Creator.
Okay, that's pretty high up there. Yeah.
Yeah, like and since I've left, like I see he's like kind of been blowing up. Like he's performing with Riri, which is like, she's like the Rihanna of Japan. Mm-hmm. And they've been going on tour and stuff. I think they're dating now, which I'm kind of like, I'm not jealous about. I'm kind of like, wow, that's like...
You're like, wow, okay.
We're Eskimo sisters.
This is the next step? Go me.
Yeah. And he just got sponsored by like Ferragamo, which is like a really nice Italian brand. It's like, wow. When I dated him, he was sponsored by Reebok.
Wait, what is a brand of what? Like a clothing brand?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Dude, I'm so not fancy at all.
Oh.
I make my own t-shirts. I just wear Uniqlo everywhere. I'm just like, this is $5. I'll take it. Cool.
I mean, your house is almost exclusively decorated by Taco Bell.
Yeah, well, the Taco Bell Hotel, it really was a big part of my life. As noted, if you want to go back and listen to the episode of Amanda from Taco Bell Hotel, you can hear all about that. And hear about how she recognized me from my dick pillow picture, which was great.
Dick pillow guy.
Hell yeah. That's not the dick pillow, by the way. I bought a separate one.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah,
okay.
Look, I'm not an animal, okay?
I just assume you had multiple dick pillows.
Oh, I mean, my dick's been all over this place.
Okay, well, it's been nice. I have to go
lovely.
now.
Been lovely going back to Japan with my clean butthole. Anybody else in Japan? Like, what else was like? What do you think is the most shockingly different part about dating in Japan as opposed to dating in America?
Oh, that's a good question. I think that a lot of people that I dated in Japan wanted to define the relationship second or third date.
Really? So they'd be like, all right, we've been going out for 2 dates now. Are you my girlfriend or what?
Kinda, yeah.
Really?
That was, and as someone with commitment issues, couldn't quite deal with that.
I know that game.
Yeah, yeah. So I also dated a lot of people who were just visiting Japan.
Okay.
Because like, that's my favorite thing about the dating apps is because I travel a lot. Yeah, you're just like, you're there for a good time, not a long time.
You see that on a dating app profile, you're like, oh yeah.
Oh, what?
It's going down.
I made the interesting choice. For a long time on Tinder, my bio was just Hello Kitty in the streets, hentai in the sheets.
And this was in Japan?
This was in Japan. It was very popular. And then my picture was of me in a Hello Kitty costume.
Dude, I feel like guys swiping on Tinder in Japan were like, this has got to be a trap. This is too good to be true.
So that was fun.
A busty blonde white woman who's hentai in the sheets? Hello Kitty in the streets? And she's wearing a Hello Kitty? Let me see your next picture. Oh my god.
So yeah, that was fun. But yeah, what else? Oh, I went on a date with a Bitcoin billionaire.
Dude, in Japan?
Yeah.
A Bitcoin billionaire.
Yeah.
Was he a billionaire in like real money though?
Probably
Does that
not.
count?
No.
Yeah, I don't know the exchange rate of Bitcoin.
Yeah, neither do I.
Was he balling though?
Yeah, it was really fun. But that was one of those dates where I was the shit show. I was the horror story date.
Oh no, what happened? What did you do?
So it was during Sakura season, which
means nothing to me. What is that?
Fair enough. It's the cherry blossoms.
Oh, okay.
And everyone hardcore picnics during the cherry blossoms, and it's just an excuse to day drink. Everyone day drinks all day. And I was at a picnic. I had been drinking since 10 o'clock in the morning. I show up to the date 30 minutes late, very drunk. And he thinks it's hilarious. We go to... I thought it would be funny to take him to a fight club, like a boxing fight club.
Like an underground fight club, or
kind of underground, but not really. It was, you could just go there. I mean, it was physically underground. But
wait, hold on.
It was like
was it like an advertised place, or
yeah.
Was it like a secret hush hush?
It was like, yeah. It was
like, hey, there's gonna be fights here Friday.
No, it was no. They had like a ring and everything.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
So I thought that would be a fun date activity, and we ended up running into a bunch of my comedy friends who were all middle-aged dads. So he was kind of confused as to why I had so many friends who are middle-aged dads, and also all my comedy friends would tease me because I would circle out a lot of dates to my comedy shows. So they'd always be like, who is Skylor with now? The worst I ever got teased was for a French-Canadian guy.
You brought a French-Canadian guy to a show?
Yeah, to a comedy show, and then all my comedy friends
Why did they tease you about that?
It was the accent.
Oh.
It's pretty bad. Also, I was like 3 inches taller than him, so maybe that had something to do with it.
Well, wait, how tall are you?
5'7", 5'8" on a good day.
Ooh, yeah, that's a short guy.
Yeah. Yep. The problem with
Well, you're not discriminating against it, right?
No.
Okay. Well,
no.
That's nice.
It was the accent that did it in.
It wasn't his height. It
wasn't his height. It was
shitty,
the fact
shitty
that
accent.
he's Canadian. Not Canada. Just kidding. Yeah.
So you went to a fight club.
So we went to a fight club. We ran into a bunch of my comedy friends. They just like wanted to hang out. And I was like, no, I'm on a date. I have to go. And then we went a couple other places. I'm very drunk at this point. I fell down, scraped my knees.
Nice.
Thought it was hilarious. He was like very concerned. I'm laughing hysterically. And then we are talking. And at this point, at the end of the date is when I asked him, I was like, oh, by the way, like, what do you do? After I talked about myself the entire time, just kind of belligerently. I was like, I do stand up and I'm a DJ and yeah. And
We're going to address this DJ situation in just a second.
I'm not a DJ anymore. It was a short-lived period of my life. And he starts telling me, he's like, well, I was on the ground floor of Bitcoin and blah, blah, blah. And I've been doing this for a long time. And I was like, I don't even know what Bitcoin is. And he starts explaining it to me. And I throw up on him.
You threw up on a Bitcoin billionaire.
Yeah. Fortunately, Bitcoin has gone down in value since then, so I'm not missing out on too much. But...
Yeah, I remember when I lived in New York, Bitcoin was like really getting up there. And like my friend who invested in Bitcoin, like long before, he was like, see, I told all of you. I told all of you. And now it's like back to being irrelevant, I guess.
Yeah, I think there's. I know blockchain is cryptocurrency. That's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah,
that's also on my butt stuff.
That's on butt stuff with Skylor. Yeah, I'm too stupid to understand a lot of that stuff. Ooh.
Good times. So yeah.
So you'd always bring people to your comedy shows?
Yeah.
That's like a popular thing that people do out here. I know a girl. She's a comic, and actually, I think that's how. What's her name? Eliza Schlesinger.
Oh,
Apparently
yeah.
she used to do that in LA like all the time. Be like, hey, you want to come to my fucking comedy show? And then there'd be like 20 guys there. And
she did that?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I did that in Tokyo.
Oh, you son of a bitch. When I heard that story, I was like, oh, what a fucking awful person. But anyway, now that you're here, what a great person. Yeah, tell us about that. How did that work out?
It never really worked out in my favor.
Yeah, I would assume so.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people would, if I found out that was happening to me, and I was like, wait, who are all these? Oh, go fuck yourself, lady. That's how I would be like, you know what, I'm out later.
Yeah, a few people left when they realized. But it was mostly, I started doing it because pretty much someone dared me to do it. Mm-hmm. And then I did it. And then people were buying tickets, so I kept doing it. But it was fun. There was a few times where I got to feel like Bachelorette, and yeah, I just had 3 guys vying for my attention, buying me drinks all evening, even though I got free drinks, but they taste better when someone pays for them.
Wow, you're a real piece of work. You're a real piece of work, lady. It's happened to me where, like, so I'll you know, when you're in the beginning stage of dating, especially on dating apps, you're seeing like 5 people at once, basically.
Is that just the beginning stage? I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, you don't for non-polyamorous people, I guess. I don't know, but
you mean boring people? Just kidding.
Ouch.
Sorry.
Hey, look, man, I'd be polyamorous if they'd allow me.
But they?
You know, the man. Oh, God. But it'll be like, I'll be 3 dates in with like 4 different people. And then we'll be following each other on Instagram or something. And then I'll post stuff like, hey, I have a show here. And then like all 4 of them will be like, I want to come to your show. And then they all show up and you're like, fuck. Oh, no. And then I have to like get my friends to run interference and stuff and be like, hey, I'm in it's like a sitcom situation where you're like, I'm in a little bit of a situation right now. The 4 women I'm dating are all here and don't want to lose them all, you know? But that's not an issue when you're doing it in Japan.
No. And when that's the whole point.
Do you think it's easier in Japan or in America?
Dating or stand-up?
Dating.
Oh.
This is the Dating is Hard podcast, not the stand-up is hard.
That's a good question. I think dating is hard for me everywhere I go because I'm so bad at it. No.
Why? Why do you think you're so bad at it?
No, that's a joke. I'm really good at first dates. It's all downhill from there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why?
First dates are my favorite. I don't know, because it's just like the exciting, like.
Are you like oh, I'm meeting somebody new?
Yeah, and then it's, I don't know, you get to do like the polished version of yourself, and then slowly the facade crumbles.
Oh, you don't like yourself, is what it is.
Oh.
We hit
Yeah.
the nerve.
Yeah, no matter where I go, there I am. No, I'm good at relationships. I'm not so good at dating, but I've managed to juggle a few relationships over the years. But anyways, this is the dating is hard, not relationships are hard podcast.
It's part of dating. Relationships.
So it's funny because I consider dating more of a social thing.
Oh, really? Like,
Yeah.
How do you mean?
Like, it's a fun thing to do with a group of people.
A group of people?
Well, yeah, because dating, like you do a relationship with one person, but you date multiple people. Like when
That's
you're
true.
it's
You like casual dating.
Yeah.
Where it's just like the butterflies and like, oh, where's this gonna go?
Yeah.
And then when you're like finally in it, you're like, oh, this is boring.
No, now I feel like I sound like a bad person. This is the moment, not all the other stuff. But
We're all bad people.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean,
so many planes flying by right now. I'm getting so
I
distracted.
think every
right now.
day that I've been in LA, there's just been more planes flying around.
Dude, there's
They're
just
looking
so much
for someone.
background noise happening right now. It's pissing me off. Anyway, sorry everybody about the plane noises, but there ain't nothing I can do about it. This is the weirdest podcast I've ever done. I don't know why I'm being so weird right now.
I'm
no,
flattered.
not you. I'm just weird.
I
Anyway,
feel
sorry.
special.
What were we talking about? I'm fucking out of it.
Let's see. Where is it harder to date? Tokyo
Japan
or
America?
America. Okay. I would say it depends on where in America.
Mm-hmm.
I think LA and DC, just those are two hard places to date. Like I really like dating in New York.
Mm-hmm.
I like dating in North Carolina. Like the dating scene, like people, well, one, because it's New York people, I feel like are more upfront about things. And then in North Carolina, people aren't even trying.
Wait, what do you mean by that?
Like there's no, I don't know, there's like no premise, there's no facade, there's no like come to my comedy show.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
just yeah. It's like, oh well, I'm here.
There's no like industry, like in entertainment industry in North Carolina. So it's like we're here to date. I'm not trying to get you to follow my Instagram so I can be an influencer or whatever.
Yeah, no, it's like this is what. Yeah, this is something I've been thinking about a lot, like the specific differences in dating depending on where I am.
Okay. So you've moved all around the place.
Yes.
And you've presumably been dating. Where, I'm guessing New York and North Carolina are like your favorite places that you've been dating?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, DC is a terrible place
Why does DC suck so much for dating? Because like I know a bunch of people that hate DC dating, and I don't know why. Is it like, I don't know. I never did it. Well, when I went to school around there.
Yeah.
At University of Maryland, and that's when I actually like first got on online dating. Was my senior year. I was on like OkCupid and shit. Before,
old school.
Yeah, before Tinder was even a thing, or it probably was a thing, but I just didn't know about it. But yeah, I was on OkCupid, and I was like, fuck it, whatever, let's try this. And I met a bunch of people from there. I was actually, this girl had a sex blog, and she wrote a sex blog about me.
Oh.
Which was very interesting. And,
oh, wow.
Yeah, nice little feather in the cap. But
do you have that on your website?
Oh, I have it
the
saved, baby. I have it saved somewhere in my email. I remember the title of it was Tall, Skinny, Dirty-Looking Men. And I was like, I don't know if this is a compliment or how to take this.
That's not a compliment.
Ouch! All right. Well, if you read the fucking rest of it, you might think otherwise. But, yeah, so I started in D.C., and I didn't really have any kind of problem. Like, why do you think it's such a shit show in D.C.?
Because the industry there is politics.
Oh, okay.
And that makes for... I just don't like D.C. I think that's part of the problem.
Do you think it has to do with, like, you kind of grew up there?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. That's a good point. I think it's also... Because it's, like, not a lot of people are from D.C.
Yeah.
Like, when I date people who are in D.C., they came to D.C. to do something, and it's usually a very stiff something. If it's not political, it's still stiff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I sold Japanese beer and sake.
I'm a DJ, comedian, beer sake salesman. So what are you bringing to the table, bucko? Yeah. It's like, I'm doing a fucking internship.
Non-profit.
Oh, God. Non-profits. Yuck.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, like, I feel like in New York and LA, though, too, like, there's not a lot of people from here, but the industry that people come here for is a lot more colorful, I guess, than DC.
Yes.
And it's like, yeah, I don't know. I never really got into the, like, DC politic scene while I was there because, I was only there and dating people for a summer, basically.
Yeah,
and then,
because you were in college. So.
Yeah, and then, like, once I graduated college, I moved immediately to New York, and then there's a lot more colorful people there. Yeah. But there's also, like, Wall Street people in New York.
Finance. Yeah,
finance people. I feel like that's a lot, like, the same ilk as the
that's true.
DC politic people. But there's more arts and stuff.
Yeah, finance guys are fun.
Yeah?
Some of them.
It sounds like you're a gold digger. You're like, I dated this Japanese billionaire, and that was cool. I dated this famous rapper in Japan. That was cool. Finance guys are cool, too. I was like, oh, I'm starting to suss this out here.
No, I've dated a lot of poor people, too.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, poor people. Shout out to poor people. What do you think is, like, your most successful relationship that you've had? What did that person do? That's for butt stuff with Skylor?
That might be. Yeah. Well, because it recently ended.
Oh,
it ended at the beginning of this summer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's for the best.
Yeah.
But it was on and off for 4 years.
Okay.
Going on 5. Yeah.
Did that, like, last while you were in Japan?
No, that was an off season.
That was the off
season.
But
we were like friends and we spoke and we talked and stuff. So,
that's
and
cool.
I think that's a good sign for a relationship, even like being friends when you're not butt stuffing it up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Butt stuffing it up the butt, more like it.
Yikes. Okay.
So I know what the title of this episode is going to be. Butt stuff.
Oh, no.
I would never do that to you.
I told my mom to listen to this.
I would never do that to you, Skylar. That'd be awful. Unless, like, I can't wait till I have somebody on the podcast that's like, yeah, fucking name it that. I don't care. Like, damn, all right,
That's
cool.
why they call me Butt Stuff B. Laddie. No, can you edit that out?
Nope, there's no editing on this podcast. It's all unfiltered butt stuff. Butt stuff Bilati. So it's nice to have butt stuff Bilati on here. It's totally cool.
Oh, God.
So with your Bachelor situation in Tokyo, did anybody ever, like, stick around and you're like, I choose you, and then you went on a second date with them?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
And we ended up going on... We had some wild adventures. We went camping in Okinawa, which is this like little island off the coast of Japan. We went skiing. That relationship ended because we were skiing together, and I wiped out.
Yeah.
And he stopped for a second, and he was just like, I thought you said you were good at skiing. He took me on like the equivalent of a black diamond. And I was like, yeah, I haven't skied in a while. I used to ski a lot. I wipe out. He got like angry. He's like, I thought you said you were good at skiing. And then just skied away.
And then you never
just, like,
saw him again.
Left me on the side of this mountain.
Oh my God.
And I was like, yeah, I feel like this isn't a good metaphor for our relationship.
Yeah.
This is not going.
When you got to the bottom, you're like, what the fuck?
We broke up right after that trip.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, and it was really funny. I remember, so we broke up, and then he ended up bringing a girl to one of my comedy shows, like on a date down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Right before I left for Japan, he took the girl that he was dating to one of my comedy shows, and she was an adult with braces.
Nice.
And yeah, I felt another situation where I just felt bad for this girl, because it's like, oh, well, let's go see how funny my ex is.
Hey, check out. Did he know that you were going to be performing?
Yeah.
And he was like, this will be a fun date.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you remember, you see that girl up there? I used to date that girl. It's like, what? Fuck, that's crazy.
Yeah, so that was he was a character. But, I mean, you have to be a character to want to continue to date someone after they admitted to only inviting you on a date in the first place because they wanted someone to buy tickets to their comedy show. So
you're the worst. I hate you for this. And just, I know other like female comedians that do that too, and I'm just like, it's so icky.
I only did it in Japan. I had just started doing stand-up comedy. I did not know any better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now you're out here doing shows in vape shops with your boy.
Yeah,
so
killing the game.
Rocket ship to stardom.
I wrote a letter home about being on this podcast.
So what do you think is a good first date idea? If somebody asked you out and they were like, hey, I'd love to take you out somewhere, where would you love to go? What would you like to do?
I recently got this idea in my head about batting cages.
Fuck yeah.
I've never been to a batting cage.
You've never been to a batting cage?
So I just thought that'd be fun. And I feel like it's like something you would see in like a movie or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that would be like, I like activities. I like activity-based dates. I like drinking too, I just like, that's fine. But yeah, I would like a good activity.
Yeah, I mean batting cages. I go to batting cages when I'm like super pissed off.
Oh,
just
perfect.
To like, well, yeah, I wouldn't want to go on a date to batting, but activity-based stuff is good. I'll go like bowling or like mini golf or something. You don't like bowling? No bowling, no mini golf?
No, I like those things. I don't know. I feel like I've done that before though. Like I want to do something I've never done before.
Okay, batting cages.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's a good way. That's a good way to get my attention, is to suggest something I've never done before. So.
Well, how's anybody supposed to know that?
But that's half the fun. It's like they don't, but if they can be imaginative enough, Okay. Yeah.
I feel bad that you haven't been to a batting cage before. Like
I live a simple life.
no, you do not. You're like, I live in Tokyo. I was just.
I'm a very backwards person. Like I don't drive. I don't go to batting cages. I don't.
The essentials of life.
I only have butt sex.
I have to respect the balls of that guy to just be like, oh, by the way, I only have butt sex, and expect you to be like, all right.
Maybe he was like, this date is going so bad, I'm gonna say something that she doesn't want to try to pursue anything else. I didn't even think about
like
that.
sabotage it himself.
Yeah.
Like, this will make her never want to see me again. And it was going well, you said, up until that point, though.
Yeah. I mean, he seemed like normal.
Yeah. Would you have gone out with him again before the butt sex comment?
Probably not. Yeah. I do a lot of first dates, not a lot of second dates.
Are you like super picky?
I guess that's part of it. I'm also very busy.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So I'm trying to get better at that though. Getting up there in age. Gotta
26?
slow,
You're fucking
slow
fine.
down.
You're fine. 26. What are like some of your deal breakers, both physically and not physically? If you have
That's
any.
a good question. A good sense of humor is, I know that's so basic, but when I say good sense of humor, I mean someone who laughs at my jokes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Physically, like all types. I've tasted the rainbow.
That was so gross.
And the rainbow has tasted me.
I don't know why that just gave me the willies right now. I was like, oh Skylor. Jesus.
But yeah, physically, deal breaker. I mean, it's just like taking care of yourself. Okay, here's a good deal breaker physically. Own fucking hand soap.
Oh yeah, we were talking about that. About how like you're bounced. So you don't actually technically live in LA right now. You're just been visiting for 2 months.
Yes.
And you're bouncing all over the country basically. And the people that you're staying with never have hand soap.
Yeah, so this is something I've been like I now tell everyone about this. I feel like this is my soapbox to stand on now.
But soapbox.
Yeah. I have been staying at my guy friends' houses. Not like that. Like I have just good
friends who are men.
Friends who are men
Yeah.
who basically have been asking me to house sit while they're gone. So I have their apartments to myself. And in 3 different areas in the last 3 months, I've been at a guy friend's house in New York. He had no hand soap. Okay? He was using his body wash as he's like, what? It's just, I can just use that.
That's such a guy thing. Guys, I used to do this joke about how if you ever want to piss a woman off, just tell her that you use the same soap to wash your body, hair, and face. Just see them melt down. Just like, are you fucking serious?
Well, my friend who I stayed with I stayed at his house in San Francisco, he didn't even have shampoo. He didn't even have the like 3-in-1 shit. I go into his bathroom. You know what he had in his shower?
What?
Multiple different kinds of personal lubricants in his shower.
What?
Yeah, homeboy's a freak. And
He didn't have like soap, like body wash at all.
He had a bar of soap, which I think.
Okay.
I don't like bar soap.
I don't like bar soap either. It doesn't. I always feel like more dry
and like he had no shampoo, just a bar of soap and all this lube, and this is a good friend of mine. I had to have a sit down conversation with him about this. I texted him a picture of me holding all the lubes in my hand, and I said, "No shampoo?" ? This is why your hairline looks the way it does.
Ouch! Damn. What do you think is the bigger turn off there? All of the lube or the no shampoo?
No shampoo.
So if he had shampoo and all that lube, you would have been totally fine?
I would not have been
fazed. You wouldn't have batted an
eye. No, well, it's my friend, and I've known him for a long time, and that didn't surprise me that he had a bunch of lube in his shower. What surprised me was he had no shampoo. It was like he had nothing else.
I know people that like just straight up don't wash their hair, though. It's weird to me.
Yeah.
I don't know how it's not like greasy. Well, it is kind of greasy.
I mean, I wash my hair once a month. I mean, once a week.
that was a drastic change. Yeah. Wash my hair once. Well, one of my ex-girlfriends would wash her hair once a day, and I was like, you shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, that's not good for your hair.
I know. Like, at maximum, you should do it, like, every other day.
Yeah.
Like, if you're mad sweaty or dealing with a lot of grease or something.
I guess a newfound physical deal breaker. Mm-hmm. Really bad dandruff.
Oh, yeah.
I was having sex with someone once, and I felt like I was being snowed on.
Oh, gross.
Really gross.
Oh.
And after that, now when I see flakes, I'm like, no, thank you.
I've been having some bad dandruff lately.
Wow.
And it's been...
That's...
Yeah. It's been not fun. I don't know what it... Well, I changed shampoos because I got this, like... hair strengthening shampoo or something, and I used to use Head and Shoulders, and dandruff wasn't a thing. But now that I've switched to this shampoo, it's like starting to come. I get it on the side a lot,
Yeah.
and then the beard.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
Face
like it.
dandruff. That's
Yeah.
not good.
It's not good.
That's a deal breaker.
Yeah, and I wear black shirts all the time, so that's not.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I gotta start fucking really looking out for that shit. You know what I'm saying? All right, so dandruff, hand soap.
Yep. Hygiene, I guess. That's
Hygiene,
like,
yeah.
It's a very easy.
I feel like
Easy
people
one.
could trick you though with not having hand soap. Like you can still shower a bunch, and you would be like, oh, this guy smells nice or whatever.
Yeah, but if this was in my friends' homes that I saw this, but if I went into a guy's home and thought I was going to have sex with him and saw he had no hand soap, I'd be like, yeah, you're not allowed to touch my vagina.
Wow.
I
okay.
don't want a UTI. This is why all my girlfriends have UTIs, because all my guy friends don't have hand soap.
I never would have put that together. Those two and two
Like,
together.
whenever I go out with a group of girls, one of them always has a UTI.
Do you ever think it's because vaginas are weak?
Vaginas are the gateway of life.
I know. That was just ridiculous of me to say. But yeah, I feel like you're right. Like every time I hang out with a group of women, one of them definitely does have a UTI.
Yeah.
I don't understand how UTIs happen, because they can happen from like, not washing your hands and I guess like finger fucking or whatever. But like if you use a condom,
Yeah.
sometimes it causes UTI. Like anything can set a UTI off.
Yeah, I actually I had a very interesting conversation about how when someone has that reaction to condoms where it feels like a UTI, you're actually allergic to condoms. Like latex allergies are very much a thing.
Yeah.
But more so for women than men. So men should stop using it as an excuse.
Stop using
A latex allergy
as
an excuse for not wanting to use a condom.
Yeah, I was dating a girl that had a latex allergy. I had to get the anti-latex ones, and then as soon as I bought them, she was like, "Let's just not use condoms." So I was like, "Well, what? That just $13." Oh God.
Was it $13 well spent?
I mean, I still have them.
I feel like that's a good test for a guy. You know what I mean? It's like, will he buy the more expensive condoms? All right, I'll have sex with. I won't use condoms with him if he will commit to that.
Yeah, I mean, I still have them. We just never used them, and now I just have and they're just waiting there for the next latex allergy lady to come into my life.
The next weak vaginaed lady.
The next fucking. What a weak vagina you have. God, I'm losing subscribers, losing followers, losing listeners. Sorry, everybody. That's the losing subscriber song. Have you ever had what is the worst first date that you've ever been on, you think? Or have you already talked about it?
The worst first date I've ever been on.
Yeah. Pardon me, I'm going to go turn on a light on. It's so dark in here.
I guess in my mind, the worst first date was when I was super bad.
The billionaire one?
Yeah, and when I was
barfed all over the guy?
Yeah, that was pretty...
That's pretty mortifying.
It was pretty embarrassing. He asked me out again, though. He wanted to say, he was like, "You're a force of nature." I was like, "Oh."
That's a way to describe a person.
I'll take it.
Did you go out with him again?
Yeah, actually in Baltimore.
Hell yeah, my hometown, baby.
Yeah.
What'd you do?
To the harbor.
Did you go to the National Aquarium?
No, we didn't.
You went to the Inner Harbor?
We went to the Inner Harbor.
Did you go to McCormick and Schmick?
No.
Fuck that place.
No, we went to some bougie rooftop bar.
Oh.
Yeah, it was fun.
I wouldn't know anything about that because I'm poor.
Oh, well.
No.
Another deal breaker. No, just kidding.
Oh, self-burn.
Yeah, worst first date.
Wait, you went out with that guy in Tokyo,
Mm-hmm.
and then you saw him again in Baltimore?
Yeah, like a year, less than a year later, a few months later.
Dude, your life is fucking wild to me.
It's what's so funny to me about the Tokyo thing is I see people that I met in Tokyo all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I made like a lot of comedy friends in Tokyo that are in LA and New York. Because people were just coming and going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then it's also really funny when you start talking about it and people are like, "Oh, I lived in Tokyo," and yeah, it's one of those funny bridges. But okay, so this isn't the worst first date I went on, but the worst dating app experience I ever had was in college. I had just started using Tinder. It was literally my first Tinder date ever. Super hot guy, super fun.
I know.
Like
this is sounding familiar to me.
really, we like immediately hit it off, and we had so much fun for like 2 months. And we were consistently seeing each other. It was my first Tinder experience, so I was just like, "Oh, this is what Tinder is. Great." And then about 3 months into it, he ghosts me for like, I want to say 2 weeks. And I was just like, all right, well, I guess that's the end of that. I gave up after like a week.
Yeah.
And then after 2 weeks, he calls me. He's like, I'm so sorry. I've been like really dealing with something, blah, blah, blah. I want to make it up to you. Can I make you dinner tonight? Can I come over and make you dinner tonight? And he sounded like really kind of like desperate. So I felt like something was really wrong. So I was like, okay. And he comes over and he's acting really weird. And he's like, yeah. And he was like an hour and a half late. And I was like, where are you? What's happening? I was like, yeah, sorry, I got really high beforehand. I didn't mean to. And my naive little self was like, hi. He doesn't seem high. Like, I thought he meant stoned.
Yeah.
It was heroin, and he was a heroin addict.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And
another deal breaker.
yeah. That's substance abuse issues. That's a deal breaker.
Jeez.
So that was my first, and like, I did not know how to handle that.
Yeah.
And I didn't see him after that night. We ended up, and I don't know what this says about me, but we ended up having sex that night. And it was some of the best sex I've ever had.
Nice.
So
everybody go out and do heroin.
Yeah.
Start to fucking make them squirt, baby.
And that's how I broke my phone, water damage.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's
So
kind of sad.
that
Poor
was
guy.
like a sad, scary experience for like
Yeah.
I think it was 2019, like young. Yeah, it was 20. No, it was 20. So that was weird. But then my second Tinder date, I like cooled off for a while, but I went on a date with this guy and we're still really good friends. We just like became really good friends.
It's always nice when you have like a Tinder date and you're like, hey, this isn't a thing like romantically, but you're a cool person.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had a couple of those where like I still talk to the people and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm glad that you're in my life. Like this wasn't gonna work out, but yeah, I know what that's like.
Yeah. So that like restored my faith in humanity a little bit. At least like the humanity of meeting people on the internet.
Okay, I have a question here.
Yes.
What do you like dating about dating in America more than dating in Tokyo?
So I will say this, dating in Tokyo, I dated a lot of expats or basically a lot of people who were also just in Tokyo.
Yeah.
I only dated a few Japanese guys. And actually it was really funny because the Japanese rapper, he was like, you can date other people, but you can't date any other Japanese guys while you're dating me. I was like, I feel like that's racist for you to say.
It's like, I own Japanese people. You can't do this. I'm the only Japanese dick you get, lady.
Yeah, that's pretty much the vibe. But I was like, okay. I mean, I feel like that's as good as I'm going to do in the Japanese community.
Well, yeah, you kind of hit the top of it. The Tyler, the Creator of Japan or whatever.
Yeah. And it was really funny, too, because he had just changed his rap name from something really dumb to something better. So I got him when he was on the rise. Anyways. Are
you not going to shout him out, or are we keeping this under wraps?
I'll do the old rap name, because I don't know if it'll come up, but it was Young Juju.
Oh, yeah. That's not good.
No.
But, everybody, rappers now just have, like, the worst names, like Bad Bunny and stuff.
Well, there's a new rapper called Lil Baby.
Yeah, that's not fucking hard. Tekashi 6ix9ine. Well, he's about to get fucking killed, dude. He's snitching on everything. Have you been following that news story?
No.
Dude, he's like testifying against all these rappers and be like, that person's gang affiliated, that person's gang affiliated, that person's gang affiliated, because he's trying to get a lighter sentence.
Okay, well, that's another...
He's straight up going to get murdered.
Yikes.
It's crazy.
That's another topic I'll have to explore on my podcast.
Yeah, that stuff. Check it out.
Oh, I have to stop making that joke.
You have to start this podcast now. You can't just not talk about this so often.
Yeah, I've really dug myself in a hole. Okay, so I dated a lot of people who are just in Tokyo, and it's funny because I feel like it was either like some of the best people doing really interesting things, like their work taking them to Tokyo, world travelers, just like characters. But then it was also some of the worst people who were like, well, I don't really know what I'm doing with my life, so I'm just in Tokyo.
Oh, okay.
Like the comedians and the DJs of the scene.
Oh, yeah.
No.
All the DJs you're
No, it was mostly all the English teachers.
Canoodling with. Yeah.
No. It was mostly all the because it was a lot of people who I feel like didn't know what they wanted to do, so they just kind of put their lives on pause and moved to Southeast Asia. And I kind of got that because I feel like at one point I quit my job and just stayed there to do comedy and to do music and just kind of feel like a Tokyo 10 all the time. So
would I be a Tokyo 10?
You're white, yes.
Okay, hell yeah. Finally, this white stuff is working out for me.
Yeah. Finally, white privilege works in my favor. Another topic for butt stuff.
All right. I got a couple more questions for you.
Okay,
These are the questions that everybody gets. We're about to wrap up here. What is one thing that you would like to change about dating? If you had a magic wand and you could change one thing, it doesn't have to be about dating apps, just dating in general, but this one thing would change. What would it be?
I guess the kind of stigma around dating multiple people, or even just like I wish everyone could just get more chill about it, where it's like, I wish more people saw dating as a social thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I always feel the need to, like, especially in the beginning phases where it's like you're on dating apps and you're seeing multiple people because, that's just how the nature of the business or whatever.
Yeah.
And then people are like, hey, are you free Thursday? What are you up to Thursday? And I have a date planned with somebody else on Thursday. Yeah. You can't just be like, oh, I'm going out with somebody else on Thursday. I'm always like, oh, I got a open mic I got to go to,
Yeah. No, I think that I guess it's like something I've been thinking about a lot. Well, not a lot, but just this like sense of entitlement that comes with like getting to a certain point in a relationship, and then there's just a lot of assumptions. I don't know. Yeah. So that's, as someone who's been, I hate the term polyamorous, but it's, that's the politically correct term for slutty these days. So
I was so gonna make that joke, and then I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not. And then you just fucking went right in for it, and I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, Skylor, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so usually the second question, I think I'm gonna phase this question out because it's pretty much the same answer every time I ask it. Is what do you think is the worst part about dating? Do you have a different answer for that? I think I'm going to stop asking this one because it's so similar to the last question, you know?
Oh, I guess.
You know, like, what's one thing... Like, I would ask people, like, what's one thing that you would change about dating? I'd be like, people wouldn't ghost. And then I'd be like, okay, what's the worst part about dating? And they're like, people ghosting.
Oh, I really have only been ghosted that one time by the heroin addict.
But then he came back. And you had the best sex of your life with him.
True. So what is that? Phantoming? I don't know.
Yeah,
what's the term
he came
for
back
that?
to life.
Yeah.
It's a fucking reanimator.
I know, that was an exorcism. That's what that was.
Yeah, you got the demon out of him.
Masturbated with a crucifix. It was a whole thing. Worst part about dating? I don't think there is a worst part. Other people, maybe. Other people are terrible.
Yeah.
Or me.
True
That's
that.
true.
What's the worst part about dating? Having to deal with people and yourself.
Yeah, being a human. That's the worst part about dating. Yeah.
All right, last question
Last
before
question.
we wrap it on up. What's one piece of advice that you'd like to give everybody about dating?
Wash your hands.
Wash your fucking hands, you UTI-given fuck faces.
Get hand soap. It is a very important, just soap. It's so important to our society. It's just, oh my God. And ladies, if you go into a man's house and he doesn't have hand soap, don't let him touch your vagina. This should just be common sense. This is my PSA to the world.
What if the guy didn't have hand soap, right? And he was like, look, I won't touch your vagina, but we could still fuck. You could, because you don't wash your dick as often as you wash your hands, you know, and that's more sweaty. So you're okay with that?
Yeah, but I would use a condom.
Okay, true.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. That's the real reason for condoms, not pregnancy dick sweat.
But you get UTIs from condoms.
I don't. I'm saying some people do.
Oh, some people do. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've reached the end. You got anything to plug? You want people to, you got a website? You got fucking Instagram, I guess?
Can I pitch a dating app idea real quick?
Yeah, pitch whatever you want.
I think there should be a dating app where it's like Uber Pool,
Okay.
but the other person in your pool is someone that you might want to date.
So it is Uber Pool, but a dating app.
Yes.
You're both going on a ride somewhere?
Yes. And like you have to decide if you want to go on another date in that time.
I feel like that's a game show. That'll be a game show.
That's a good game show. I think it would make a better app.
I don't know.
Like
That's an interesting idea, though.
That's
Like, I feel like that would be something that you'd see on, like, True TV.
I don't watch that.
You remember Cash Cab?
No.
With Ben Bailey?
No.
It was a show where people would get into a cab and they wouldn't realize that it was a game show, and then they'd have to answer questions for the duration of their ride, and they would win money. I think that could be like a dating game show.
Interesting. Okay. Well,
Hollywood?
if you pitch
You've
it,
got
you
our
gotta
numbers.
give me credit. Yeah. But other than that, my Instagram is SpankyB, Spanky IE.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
B as in the letter, or is it BEE?
Oh, BEE, Spanky Bumble.
SpankyBEE.
Thank you.
There we go,
There we
everybody.
go.
That's fucking follow Skylor on Instagram. See if she's got any shows coming up. Go to her show. She'll probably have like 9 guys there waiting for her with a single rose for whoever she's gonna go out with next.
Yeah, keep an eye out for my new podcast.
Butt stuff with Skylor B. Laddie. All right, Skylor, thanks for doing the show. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
And there you have it, everybody. That was my interview with Skylor. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope we all learned a little bit about the world. We're going international with the Dating is Hard podcast now. Yeah, like the podcast, tell your friends, share it, rate and review, subscribe, all that stuff that makes podcasts successful. You know how it goes. If you want to know about the show, www.datingishardcomedy.com. Follow the Instagram at datingishardcomedy for all the updates. Follow me on Instagram at Joe Welkie if you want to know where I'm going to be. Going to see what I'm up to. Yeah, you can follow Skylor on Instagram. I already forget what it is, but we talked about it in the episode. So, rewind if you want to follow her. The worst podcast host ever. Anyway, yeah, the Dating is Hard live show is every fourth Wednesday at 9:30 at Pack Theater. It's a by-donation theater, so if you got extra money to throw the theater's way, that's awesome. Please do. It helps shows like mine keep going. If you don't, guess what? You still get to come to the show, and it's still a blast. So that all works out for everybody. Thanks for listening, guys. I really appreciate it. I hope you're enjoying the podcast. I'm really happy that I'm getting to do it and meeting all these great people. Yeah. Otherwise, have a good one, everybody. Later.